Welcome back, everyone, to another portfolio update video. We are going to take a look at, of course, how the portfolio performed for the entire month of July. And I gotta be honest, it's struggling. Again, my portfolio is very tied to the NASDAQ. So when the NASDAQ falls, it's not really surprising that it's going to fall just as much, right? But let's actually take a look at this right now. Not going to waste any more of your guys' time. So, taking a look at the portfolio from July 1st to August 1st, the portfolio lost $212.74, excluding net contributions. Now, comparing this to the three other indices, yeah, the portfolio lagged, right? It lost about 4.5%. And the NASDAQ, we can see that the NASDAQ over here, it beat my portfolio. Even though it tracks with the NASDAQ, it still beat my portfolio by a decent chunk. We can see that the NASDAQ ended 3.19%, whereas my portfolio was, again, negative 4.47. The NASDAQ negative 3.19. Then the S&P at minus 0.06, so basically flat. And the Dow, the only one that was positive, up 0.38%. So my portfolio is not doing too hot when it comes to the overall performance. But again, it's not really geared for massive performance. It's strictly geared for dividend investing, passive income. So not really too worried there. Now, here's the thing, when it comes to that, again, the NASDAQ falling that much because of tech earnings were this week, and they were not that good. NASDAQ falling like that, of course, my portfolio is also going to take a hit as well. That's why I'm not really too worried that the fact that it did fall that much. It will recover once the NASDAQ recovers. So with that, let's now move into, because this is the whole month's overview of the portfolio, let's take a look at the salaries as well as the expenses, the income and the expenses for the month. Now, starting off, we got over here the overall income. And of course, salaries and wages, we came in at $4,484.04. This is just from my W-2 income. From dividends, it was $2,591.36. It was a little bit lower. QQQI did lower its overall dividend by a little bit. It was basically like a fraction of a penny. Really wasn't that much, but it was enough to bring this down. Also, the fact that it was July, not a lot of other companies pay in July, so that's the reason why it wasn't upwards of like $2,600 and more, right? In August, we should get a lot more. Now, when it comes to the expenses, looking at this, we could see that, of course, we got over here mortgage, $2,300. We got electricity, $211.75. This is usually higher. It was higher this month, not usually. It was higher this month. As opposed to the other months. That doesn't usually go above 200, but for some reason it did. It's July. It's a hot month. It is what it is. Then we got water, sewer, trash, $41.72. Internet, $86. Phone, $23. Groceries, $848.58. In line with the previous months as well. Transportation, when it comes to fuel, gas prices being up, this was upwards of $309.96. Insurance, $164.48. Streaming and subscription services, we got $10.58. Entertainment and dining out, $37.24. Then we got Amazon, $191.48. Actually, this month is going to be probably a lot because for August, because not only did I buy a few things from Lowe's for the garden that I'm building in the back, I had to buy some wood. In fact, I still have to keep buying some more wood, but it is my boy's second birthday. That's right. He has been alive on Earth for 2 years, and we're going to do a birthday. So we're going to have to spend a little bit of money, not too much. My wife is usually pretty good at getting things on the cheap end, especially for a birthday, right? For a 2-year-old that he won't even remember it. But it is something that we're going to spend a little money on right there. Gifts and donations, $43 on the dot. And miscellaneous, we got a total of $291.17. Again, Lowe's, I had to buy stuff from Lowe's. She buys stuff from Target when it comes to the child. So all that good stuff. Gym, $21.02. Starbucks, I don't believe that we got Starbucks. I think that she got something else one time coming back from the hospital. Nothing to worry about. Just normal doctor stuff that my son has to go through every single month. Nothing to worry about there. And she got something, I think she got like Wendy's or something. I just put it under Starbucks, right? And then the cat had her yearly physical, which cost money. And then the dog also had to get more of his meds. So $319.25. All for a total. Honestly, if it wasn't for the dog, if it wasn't for the veterinarian, this would have been $300 cheaper. But nonetheless, though, it was still basically in line with that of the previous months, except for the outliers, obviously, at $4,914.59. Less the mortgage, we got $2,600, which not that bad. Not that bad at all. Now, for this month, I actually invested a whopping $4,370.05 because of the fact that things were crashing. I am a man of my word. When I tell people, hey, you should probably buy when it's crashing, I'm not going to be here saying, buy when it's crashing, but I'm not going to do that. No. I meant it. So right now we're actually averaging a really good overall average for the entire month, or for the entire 7 months so far, at almost $3,000 invested every single month, which is really good. In fact, that is the target that we are trying to get to. A $3,000 investment every single month, because this will basically make it so that the overall portfolio grows, the income overall grows to the rate that by the time I hit 35, 5 years, it will basically be around $50,000 of overall investment. Actually, $50,000 to $60,000, right? $50,000 to $60,000. So yeah, but that was basically all the expenses for the entire month. But now if we actually take a look at here with the overall goals, now I gotta be honest, I messed up when it came to this one. I had not put in a lot of the stuff, and I did. I put in a lot more of the expenses, and before it was like at around, the total needed was like what, $52,000. Yeah, it jumped up to $58,500. So I need about $60,000 in yearly passive income in order to supplement the majority of the stuff, right? Because I realized, wait a minute, why didn't I put, fuel and transportation in here? Why didn't I do that before? Why didn't I put, insurance either? Or I think I had insurance there, but yeah, I don't think I had like electricity, or I did have electricity. I know for a fact I didn't put the transportation in there. So I added that, and yeah, it brought up the overall total. I need about $60,000. I really just do need about $60,000 in order to supplement all of this. So we're basically halfway there, and we can see that the next one that the dividends will cover will be the insurance, and it's at, the next goal is a whopping $1,500 to go. With that said, I am actually strictly working on just putting money into QQQI. I wanted to diversify. I wanted to buy individual stocks, guys. But the way that it is, I don't see it moving forward. I really just do not see it moving forward unless I put it into QQQI. I hate to do it, but to accomplish my goal, I need to do it that way, and it is what it is. There's nothing else I could do with that. It sucks because I really would like to buy other companies as well, but at the same time I kind of can't. So it is what it is. We'll see how that works, but regardless, I think it's going to turn out just fine in general, right? In general. So with that, let's actually now move into the buys and the sells for this past month. And looking at this right here, we can see that, and now I did sell, and I did cover this, I believe, on the 15th, the halfway point of the update. But I did sell a cover call on QQQI with the intentions of it actually going in the money. However, I actually bought it back for, I don't even know if this was at a loss or not. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was like a loss of like $60 or so. But I basically bought back the cover call on QQQI for a loss of like $60 or so, mainly because of the fact that QQI was down like $52, and the fact that this was expiring on August 21st, I'm like, I would like to get this now. I would like to buy some QQI now. So yeah, that's the reason why I bought it back. Took a loss, but I'm going to make that money back basically by the end of August when QQQI pays out. Nonetheless, though, on the 8th, we can see here that I did buy more QQQI for 37 shares at $54.58. I also bought some ARM. I know I didn't show this, but I bought some ARM when it fell down to $253. And I sold it when it was upwards of $270. And it was only about 10 shares or so. And you can see that I did make a profit of around $200 or so, from $2,532.20 to $2,708.71. So I did make a pretty good profit there. And actually, if we take a look at ARM now, I do believe that it is down a whole lot. I think it's down like $240 or so. So I'm actually really glad that I did sell it at the $270 mark. Now, I don't know if I will buy back another 10 shares at this price tag, with the hopes that it'll go up to like $300 or so, because that would be nuts. I don't know. I kind of just did it because I saw it at $253. I said, why not? But I don't think I'm going to do that again. Again, I do not like trading. It is too stressful. I don't like it. I just don't like it. And then lastly, on the 27th, I bought some QQQI for 45 shares at $52.23, worth $2,350.35. However, the unfortunate thing is that I kind of bought those shares or after the ex-dividend date, so I did not get that QQQI dividend from those shares, from those 45 shares, but it is what it is. Nonetheless, though, let's actually take a look at now how the dividends have performed this month. And we kind of already saw that, but let's actually take a look at this one more time. So we can see over here that for 2026, currently making approximately, and this is dumb because look at this. Look at this. Look at August. August is at 0. It's not 0. We're going to get paid this week. It's coming up from DebQ. Why is it 0? I don't understand. Charles Schwab, get it straight. Please get your investment income projections correct for cover call ETFs. Please, 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 please. Because look at this. It's $49. Look at this. Look at this. It's stupid. It's showing 0. Meanwhile, September is showing 7,700. I wish. I really do wish. October 0. Basically 0. And then another 700. So it is what it is. I don't care. But estimated income, $33,439, averaging at around $2,800 a month. That's crazy. Not correct because of this thing right over here. So it is what it is. But we can actually take a look at the spreadsheet and see what it actually is supposed to be. And with the spreadsheet, we can see that this is about $32,852, or let's just round it up to $33,000 a year. So it's a little bit lower than what it was expecting the Charles Schwab to be, but I mean, it's still really, really good. And honestly, if things continue to crash, especially on the NASDAQ QQI, I'm just going to keep buying more because I do want to increase this a lot more. So hopefully that's the case. But honestly, we'll see what happens, because I know that things are probably going to rebound very, very quickly, especially as investors dissect the earnings from big tech that happened the last 2 weeks or so. And now looking at the graphs, I would actually like to see how this month performs in comparison to the other Julys. And we could see that, guys, 2020, $15.44. Look at that. 2020, the first year. 2021, $149.80. 2022, if I could grab it, please. Come on, where's 2022? $179.41. 2023, where's 2023? Is there no 2023? Right there it is. We got $130.89. 2024, $284.10. 2025, $680.62, and 2026, $2,600, as we saw. Very, very nice. So far, guys, this was by far the best thing that I did, is basically just have all my cash into this one ETF, because for the past 7 months, this has been covering my mortgage and then some. So very, very, very nice to see. Very nice to see. Now, looking at, of course, what made up this almost $2,600, we can clearly see that this came from three sources. We got JetQ on the 6th, as well as JetB on the 6th, $439.24 and $11.61 respectively. And on the 24th, we got QQQI, $2,140.51. So, all in all, that's basically it. Really good month. Not a lot of dividends, not a lot of companies paid out. August, I believe we have a lot more companies paying out. I know for a fact Lowe's pays out on the off months of August, and then the other ones that are subsequential to August, November, that kind of stuff. So looking forward to that one. And of course, September being the last quarter of the month, it's going to be absolutely crazy. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. But that pretty much does it, guys, for this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Really does help with the algorithm here on YouTube as well as Rumble. And again, just 2 videos a month. Just 2 videos a month. I will probably make one here and there if there's something to talk about. But honestly, I'm kind of just having fun doing the whole gardening thing, and doing the whole stock thing by myself. Yeah, the whole video creation thing, guys, let me just be honest right here. It's not my thing. It's not my calling. The Lord said, this ain't for you, my guy. I got something better for you. And I'm going to trust him. So, yeah, it is what it is. I'm just not enjoying making, daily content as I used to before. It is what it is. I'm finding enjoyment in other things now. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be back on August 15th for halfway through the month of August to see how it actually performed, the dividends and all that good stuff. And then at the end of August for the overall performance for the month of August. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace out, and we will see you all next time.